Why is there like nobody here?
There's nobody here.
Holy shit.
Buongiorno, ha un fuoco in Val di Taro? Un grande fuoco, sì. Ok, ok, grazie, grazie. Ok, ciao. Okay, they said they're on their way. So it's about 2:30 in the morning, and we just woke up because we were camping not too far from the shipyard, and we woke up because we noticed this weird sound and this weird smoke outside, and so we decided to, walk around the corner to check it out. And there's a boat on fire at our shipyard. So we just called the fire department because there's nobody that's there, and the fire is just burning. Oh God, I'm so nervous, guys. I'm so scared. We did all this work.
I'm gonna walk down. I want to look through, but I'm not gonna get very close to it. I want to see if there's a fire.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
You want to see it?
Yeah. Yeah, so there's nobody at the site, so Din's gonna try to see if maybe there's a fire hose. There's this catamaran that just, I guess, caught fire. It's right there. And Uma's right here. Oh my God, this is so scary. Like my hands are shaking right now. There they are. Buongiorno.
Sta prendendo fuoco delle imbarcazioni.
Because I see that they're in front of the gate, but I don't see anybody at the fire yet. What's going on out there?
Yeah, they're at the gate, but I guess they just can't get in.
Are you still down there with them?
I'm the only one down here with the hose.
Wait, you're the one with the hose. They're not coming towards you?
No, the pump truck down here has a garden hose. I'm the only one holding a real fire hose, though.
So the fire department just showed up, and it took them a second because they couldn't quite get into the gate, but they're by the fire now. They're trying to take it out, and I think Ben is also down there making sure that, he was there first just to make sure that it doesn't get any further than it needs to go.
Those two fire trucks that showed up, they do have some water, but it's just like a tiny little garden hose. I got down here first, and I got the hose in the corner and turned it on, but because the ends are plastic, it blew off the end, and it was like snaking all over the place. So I shut it back down, went to the next hose, which was even closer, got it started. And the big ferry beside that was on fire, I put it out first, and then just kept water on the catamaran until the fire guys showed up. And they were surprised to see me back there. I think they thought I was a firefighter because they couldn't see me. And then two guys came and relieved me, and then I went to the next nearest hose and got a replacement end for the hose that broke, brought it to the firefighters, gave it to them to put on and turned that hose back on. And then while they were fiddling around with their pump truck, came and got a third hose that also reaches, got that hose on. So now the three hoses on it are the ones that I brought. Now they got two firefighters on each hose, and it looks like it's under control again.
That's intense.
Well, we got a lot of firefighters here now, so they seem to have it under control. They're wearing breathing apparatuses, and I'm not, so I am definitely stepping back now that all the smoke's kind of starting to come down. But when we first got here, the smoke's going straight up, and there's nothing around the base of it, so felt safe. Oh, shit, there it goes. Just broke in half. That's why I'm not over there anymore. Jesus Christ. Definitely seems to be a lot of boats that catch on fire around here. Kind of freaks us out a little bit. But that one's a little closer to ours, 200 meters maybe. Definitely close enough to catch the other boats on fire, so kind of glad we got here when we did.
Was
wild night.
What a mess.
The thing is, the shipyard that burned down a couple of months ago, we saw the response to that here, and it really caught us off guard because we're used to North America and we're used to fire departments showing up 15 minutes, 10 minutes some places, 5 minutes in some places. And when that shipyard caught on fire, they didn't have water on it for almost 2 hours, and then it burned for days. More than 24 hours before they had it out. One of the problems was that shipyard, to the best of our knowledge, didn't have any sprinkler suppression systems. It didn't have any fire hydrants nearby. Like, we were standing in front of that shipyard watching it burn with everybody else on the street, and it was crazy to see like big water trucks coming and hooking up to the pump trucks, and they were using water trucks to put it out rather than hooking up to like a fire hydrant because there were no fire hydrants. But because we saw that happening a few months ago, when we got to the yard and saw that nobody was there and it had been burning for 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe since it caught fire, and nobody had called it in yet, and we knew that the response was so slow, and we knew that our shipyard had fire hoses, which is why I went down there, to see if anybody was down there and to make sure that like nobody was injured or nobody was stuck on the boat. I don't know. But in my head, I was like, they're not going to be here for 2 hours, so someone's got to go put water on it. And there was no wind and the smoke was going straight up. And so it wasn't like I was down there in the smoke breathing it in. But they did have a pump truck there. What was it, 20 minutes maybe?
It was a small...
Felt like an hour. They got a small pump truck there within maybe 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, about 20 minutes after the small pump truck came in, but then the larger proper water truck didn't come in for like another hour or something later. Those
little pump trucks have very minimal water, and they're meant to just put out little tiny fires. But I put out the boat beside and the mast that was on fire, and then just kept water on the catamaran. But then, so the two firefighters came and they're like, oh, like, here's a hose.
But what surprised me though is like during this entire ordeal is that the fire department was almost surprised that Den handed them over the fire hoses from the yard itself.
They just seemed surprised that the yard had water. Like, they were expecting to be there with the little garden hoses for 2 hours until the pump truck, like the big water truck, showed up from, I don't know where it came from.
Which, by then, like, if they didn't know that there were fire hoses...
Can you imagine if that burned for 2 hours?
Both boats next to it would have been completely fresh.
Sure.
The sailboat...
And if that big ferry fell over and got the sailboat, the monohull on fire, or if the dinghy gas can went off, like,
it would have been a mess.
It was kind of nuts that they were surprised to see water. And props to the shipyard we're in for paying the money to set up a proper fire, like, hose system and hydrants, because that boat definitely would have caught the boat beside it on fire, and maybe the catamaran beside it on fire too. Yeah, I mean, if there's a moral of the story, it's like know where a fire hose is.
Yeah.
Because, like, I honestly think that if I wasn't there, the fire department never would have even looked for the hoses that were every 50 meters along the wall.
But we just left, and the boat is still, I mean, they're still on fire.
It's definitely under control now.
And there's no reason. We stayed around a little bit longer because we did give like our statement to the police and all this stuff because we were the first on site. But after 2 hours, there's not really a reason for us to be there anymore.
There's a lot more smoke in and around there, so it's no longer safe to be there without any kind of like breathing apparatus. I've never seen so many boats on fire in my entire life.
I know. It's like, and it's
in 10 years I've seen one boat on fire, and it was an insurance fraud in Curacao.
But then
But now it's
twice
41 boats or something. Have gone up in
within
3
less
months.
than 3 months at this on the same street, guys. This is ridiculous. Anyway, almost safe. We're safe. The yard's under control. We're exhausted. A little bit
Hopefully it gets some
shocked,
sleep.
I think. I wish I could shower right now because I feel like
I smell like smoke.
yeah, we'll see what the situation is tomorrow.
We'll see if it's out.
Yeah. All right. Good night, guys. Alright guys, well, it's been a few days since the fire and it's so crazy. The boat is completely gone now. Luckily, it was the only boat that got destroyed. The 2 boats next to it got some damage, but as far as I've been told, they're not totaled, so they're repairable. The yard is currently running some investigations to figure out what happened, but in the meantime, everything is back in operational. So we spent this morning cleaning up everything because the deck, even inside the shed, the doors were open the night of the fire, so there's a lot of smoke that went in, and so the deck was kind of like full of smoke stains and like little particles from the fire. So we spent this morning cleaning all that off, and today we are back to boat work because the sooner we get this boat done, the sooner we get to leave.
All right, so we spent the morning masking off and scuffing up all of our nice shiny paint where the non-skid's gonna go. And it's had lunchtime to dry, and we just wiped it with a tack rag and acetone. So we are ready to apply our non-skid. It's only gonna be on the side decks. It's not going in the cockpit. It's not going on the coach roof, and it's not going on the bow because all of that's gonna be covered in solar. So previously on the boat, we had like the textured gel coat when we bought the boat, and we eventually primed over top of that and didn't have non-skid for a while, which was super sketchy. And then we applied Kiwi Grip last time, which is kind of like this thick mayonnaise-y sort of water base. It's not really a paint, it's like a thick goo. And you put it on with a special roller and it gives you a very good texture, and it still had sort of like a soft texture to it, so it wasn't like super hard on your skin. However, because it was water-based, and maybe because we didn't do a good enough job prepping the deck, we had a lot of delamination issues with that, especially when we made it up north. We had water getting underneath and it would freeze, and like we cleaned off the boat, it was just coming off in big sheets. And it also just didn't hold up very well to daily use. Like we just kept kind of wearing through it. So we decided to go with something different because what we ended up choosing was a product called Soft Sand. It's a rubber sand basically. So it doesn't have the sharp edges like actual sand does. We did a little test board a long time ago. Comes in like a fine, a medium, and a coarse. We didn't really notice a huge difference between the coarse and the medium. There's a very big difference between the fine and the medium. We ended up choosing the medium, and the process is pretty simple. We've already keyed up the paint, and so we're gonna put a new fresh layer of paint down, and then this comes with in a little like spice shaker bottle, and you just sort of shake it on. Nice even coat, and then let that cure, and tomorrow we'll vacuum it off and put 2 coats of the same paint we used on deck over top of it to seal it in. And from what we've heard and from other people we know who use it, like Andy on Boatworks Today, it has a very, very good, it wears very, very well. As in it doesn't come off because it is sealed in multiple layers of the same paint we used on deck, which is a 2-part paint. And so it's very durable to begin with. So we're excited to try that out. It's a very good texture, and it's very easy to apply.
Good morning, guys. Well, it is the second day after we made Uma a beach resort. And now we're going to get rid of the sand.
Today's gonna suck.
But that's funny. Do you want to explain why today's gonna suck?
Yeah, so we sprinkled a nice even layer of the soft sand all over top of our wet paint yesterday. And now that it's had a day to cure, we are going to vacuum it all back off again. And anything that's stuck behind stays behind. But because it's kind of reusable and we may be putting non-skid in a few other places, we brought our tiny vacuum from the truck so we can and cleaned it out so we can suck up and reuse as much of it as we can. And then we're going to go over with a big vacuum and make sure we get off all the particles left over. And then we're going to put a coat of paint on top. And that's going to be the first coat that seals it down. And then we're going to do a second coat that makes it the same color as our deck. So yeah, it's going to be an easy day. We just have to vacuum a bit and then paint a bit. And then we'll be done in here for today at least. Oh, this is like super full. That filled up real fast.
Oh boy. Yeah. Oh no,
not.
it's a funnel.
Well, but it's not. It has a little flap that's supposed to keep it from doing that. But I'll just use it instead.
It's like one of those sand timers.
I feel like I'm playing in a sandbox. I'm like a child. Okay. Now I need to like vacuum up a mess.
Vacuum up the mess that the
It's
vacuum
gonna take
made.
all day. Yeah, I've got a good idea. I think next time I pour this, I'm gonna pour it over top of the soft sand rather than over top of our clean drop cloth. So zen.
This is how men do Zen garden now.
Yeah.
If it's on a boat, then it's good.
I do my zen garden with power tools, because I'm a man. All right, we ended up able to recover 50%, 2 of those little bins. So that's kind of cool. If we want to put non-skid somewhere else in the future, or if we want to touch this up or repair it, we have leftovers. But now it's time to get the big boy out and make sure there's no loose particles and make sure we didn't miss any like thick sections so that it's nice and even. And when we paint over it, it's gonna be like a really nice unified texture.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
Cool beans.
All right, we're ready to start. It's gonna be tricky because we can't step on the stuff. So we have to do it all from this top deck, which means we've got like a Dan arm length roller and a Kika arm length roller. All right. Well, that's it.
That's it?
That's pretty much it. I guess I'll climb down. You can pass me some.
Yep. Well, that was easy. That's it. We're done. So we're gonna let this dry out, and then tomorrow we'll do the second coat of non-skid. But it's a pretty easy thing to apply, to be honest,
Compared to everything else we've done.
compared to everything else we've done. All right. Well, guys, this is it. We finished with the paint. We finished with the non-skid. Tomorrow, bright and early, we're gonna be moving back outside. I'm so happy we were in here because it poured twice while we were in here. And that definitely would have messed up everything we just did. So the last thing we're gonna do now, we're gonna remove all the masking tape and the plastic. And then, yeah, Uma will be ready to get back out.
This is like the best part of a project, I feel like.
It's kind of like unwrapping like a present. I can just start with this little section here, just so you can, maybe? Yeah, I think I have it. I'm not gonna do, this is how I unwrap my presents. I'll be delicate. I'll start from the back.
All right, guys, today's the day. Uma's coming out of the shed. We are done everything that we meant to do. We are on schedule, and in about 2 hours, they're gonna lift us up and take us out. But first, we have a little bit more masking tape we need to remove from the non-skid, and we're gonna protect our hull so that the dirty lift straps don't screw up our brand new paint. That would totally suck. So we have a little bit of prep work to do, and then we're moving back outside.
So when we were ready to move this morning, we made sure that we told them that we wanted to be close to the container. And, well, they did not disappoint. We are as close as we could possibly be.
3, 4, 5 steps. 5 steps from the container. It's been a year and a half, And we finally have our boat in a position where we can like access it from our workshop. This is fantastic.
I absolutely love how close. It was a little bit sketchy because they had to get the lift so close to the other boat. And you know what? I'm happy.
We were like 100% correct. Without like that surgical grade, like studio grid, super smooth, diffused lighting inside, you can't see nearly as many little imperfections as we could inside. It just looks super shiny.
Look at that.
Everything. Yeah. So shiny.
The big reveal. Oh my God.
Like so bright.
It's so much brighter outside. Wow. Yeah, yesterday when we got back outside, we finished removing all the tape around the non-skid, and it looks good. I feel like it's gonna be really, really grippy. It's crazy because it's the same color as the paint, as all the shiny paint, but because it's, I guess, matted and it has a texture, there's like this optical illusion thing that's happening where it looks really bright at the bow and it looks much darker at the stern, but it's the same color. So I don't know, it's kind of cool. We also don't want to walk on it just yet because it's still sort of fresh. Wow. Hells yeah. I'm super excited to be able to do this
Let me
in
go
the
for a
middle
jump.
of the ocean. I mean, with the boom, obviously, but
Yeah.
like, hells yeah. So solid.
I think it looks really cool. It has a very good texture to it. It's not like we've done samples way in the past of like putting sand like in epoxy and then painting over it, and it feels like 80 grit sandpaper. It's very like rough, but because this is like a tiny like rubber particles, the namesake of being soft sand. It's soft, so it doesn't abrade the skin, and since it's encapsulated in the same 2-part paint we use for the rest of the boat, we're hoping it's going to be very, very durable too, and we're not going to have the same issues like we had with Kiwi Grip in the past. So I think it looks good though. It is kind of weird, that optical illusion, because it's kind of like the further forward you go, like the more dark comes in from behind, and the further back you go, the more light comes in from the front. It also looks a little bit weird because we have so much clean painted surface to compare it to, whereas soon most of it's going to get covered in solar and deck hardware, and mostly solar and hatches. So it'll like juxtapose it out a little bit more.
Cool. Well, that's a really cool angle, actually.
We're using the aircon as a tripod, which we need to get back off the boat once we get the truck in here, maybe, and set it down on top of it. Anyway.
Yeah, because right now it's off, but it's gonna be super hot inside if we don't turn it back on. So we'll. Anyway, we digress. We're back outside, guys. We've made it.
I'm so
we did
proud
it.
of us for being on a schedule for a couple of months. We knew we were going to be going inside those days, and then going inside, getting done what we needed to get done, coming out on the day we needed to come out, even with the yard being closed for a day because of the fire. So yeah, it's pretty sweet to be back outside, and it's sweet to be back outside right in front of our container finally. We've got a lot more to do now, but most of it's inside.
Yeah, but the first thing we're going to be doing now that we're back outside is we're going to put in our hatches and our port lights before it starts raining again.
Yeah.
So that's the goal, and yeah, I guess
So that's what we're going to be doing next, right?
that's what we're going to be doing next week for you, and today for us. We don't stop.
Nope.
Some of you commented what you guys deserve a week vacation after the Keel project, but the reality is, if we take a week vacation, that's a week longer than the boat isn't going to be in the water.
I'd rather take a week vacation on the boat when it's in the water.
I agree.
A week earlier than taking any kind of vacation now.
I think the ferry agrees too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doot,
Doot, doot.
No, doesn't do it. We should teach him how to honk.
All right, guys. Well, that is it for this episode, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Uma's getting more and more beautiful. I'm so happy.
How sexy is that dog?
Cheers!